Everyone, and welcome to another What Are We Thinking segment with Booming Encore. My name is Susan Williams, and I'm the founder of Booming Encore, and I'm delighted to welcome back Jeff Weiss. Jeff is the CEO and president of Age of Majority, and he's here to share some things that they found out lately. Welcome, Jeff.
Suzanne, nice to be back. Happy fall. Hopefully we're getting
thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to see you. So why don't we just dive right in, Jeff, and start off with tattoos. So I thought this was an interesting topic. I mean, everybody's kind of got an opinion about it. What did you guys ask, and what did you actually find out about what we're thinking around tattoos?
Well, just to get a little personal, Susan, I don't have a tattoo. I have nothing against them, but I'm curious, do you have a tattoo?
No, I don't have a tattoo, but I must be honest, I have thought about it on occasion. And then I saw some video of somebody getting it. It looks like a very painful exercise. And at that point, I kind of quickly crossed off my list. But you know,
and just out of curiosity, do you know if you were to get one, what would you get it of? Do you know?
I hadn't actually, I thought probably something related to my family or my belief system, something along those lines is probably the way I would trend. But I hadn't actually got to that point. Like I said, I kind of saw all these needles and thought, nah, at this point in my life, I think it's a little bit far for me, but I'd be interested to see what you guys found out through asking other active agers.
And sorry, last question is, if you had to guess, what percentage of active agers do you think have a tattoo?
I think it's probably increased. I would probably, if you'd asked me a number of years back, I probably would have said maybe 10%, but I think we may be around 30%.
Wow. Well, you should have stuck with your first answer.
Oh.
11% of active agers, at least in our community, have a tattoo. And there are, most of them actually have one, but there are some active agers who have 10 or more tattoos.
Wow.
I love it. And the vast majority have no regrets. They're very happy with them. And over a third of them want more. So, you know, it's like, I've got one, I could go for more. So I thought that was very cool. Overall, there are mixed feelings with active agers towards tattoos in general. About half of them are negative, half are kind of, I'm okay with them. They're, you know, there might not be for me, but I'm fine with other people having them. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know what the stats are in terms of younger adults and tattoos. I have to believe tattoo penetration, sort of the pun, is probably much higher as you get into younger groups, but I thought this was interesting. And then we asked people who don't have tattoos why they wouldn't get one, and some interesting stuff. So first was, you know, disfigures your body. And that, you know, this one, I guess is one of mine, and is that, you know, it kind of looks worse over time, right? Because you see, you know, I'm worried about, you know, I see some people who have like tattoos all over, you know, some sports figures in particular, and it's like, oh, what are those going to look like when they get older, right? And as that muscle turns to something other than muscle, some say they're ugly. And then, as you said, the other reason was that it's going to hurt too much, right? But I think that's what alcohol is for, you know. Whenever you see people in movies getting tattoos, they're usually drunk.
Yeah, they usually had a couple under their belt too.
Yeah, so some fun things. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. So some fun facts there.
Oh, well, like I think it definitely has hit more of a mainstream. Like, I mean, I remember when we were young, it was more, I hate to say, the sailors that tended to get tattoos. And so that had a whole connotation to it. I think it's kind of hit more mainstream. You see it a lot more, like we said, in younger people. So I think that's why people are probably a lot more accepting. But like you said, it definitely is a personal choice thing. And, you know, at this point, whether it's people want to or not, I think it becomes very much, like you said, part of the decision process. Okay, let's kind of switch into something a little bit more serious, and that's dental care. I mean, we all know the teeth are often the window to sickness, so to speak. So are we taking care of ourselves, or what are we doing out there related to our dental care?
And dental, personally, I can speak because that's painful for me, particularly as I get older. So, you know, we ask a bunch of questions around usage and you know, going to the dentist, stuff like that. And firstly, you know, about 2/3 of active agers feel pretty good about their dental health, either good or very good. So that's good to know. And then we asked about kind of, you know, the two basic things in dental care, you know, most people on a daily basis, brushing teeth and flossing. So I'm happy to report that 95% of active agers brush their teeth at least daily. The 5%, most of them, I'm not sure what this means. We asked, they said, it doesn't apply to me. I'm not sure what that means.
Maybe they drop them in a jar.
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, the vast majority, I think that's higher than deodorant usage. So that's another topic. And then just over 60% floss, at least daily. So, which is probably higher than I would have imagined, but that's a good number. And then we asked people in terms of what they're using to brush their teeth. And, wasn't that long ago where it was all manual toothbrushes. Now it's about half and half between manual and electric. I know I've been using an electric for, 30 years and I love it. It's weird now when I travel and I've got to, do the manual, right? But a good split though, in terms of what people are using it. And then we asked about some other dental products and almost half are using, those dental picks or sticks, which is interesting. So some people are obviously using it when they're flossing as well, or using it instead of flossing. And then sensitive toothpaste, which I think is a fairly new thing. Over a quarter of active agers are using sensitive toothpaste. I know I fall into that because, one of the things we asked was, what issues, your dental health changes as you get older, unfortunately. And a lot of it's just, I think, genetics in terms of what your teeth are like. And I can speak to my bad teeth, even though I'm brush 3 times a day and floss once a day, but receding gums, sensitive teeth, teeth loss, are the top issues. So it's no wonder that, I just visited a dentist and I've got some gum issues without getting too much information here. And now I'm using sensitive toothpaste, which I didn't use before. And then we asked about kind of going to the dentist, and about half of the people, active agers, go to the dentist at least, or go twice a year. There's about 20% that don't go at all, really, unless there's an issue. And the reasons being similar to tattoos: I don't like it, it might be too painful, or cost might be an issue because it can be really expensive to go to the dentist, right, if you have no coverage.
Well, I mean, and the dental care is so important, as I kind of alluded to when I asked the question. I mean, there's a lot of research now that says, a lot of bacteria and things can actually start in your mouth. And actually, if you don't get it taken care of, it can turn into something significant that can affect your health long term. So it's good to hear that people are brushing, and flossing surprised me. I mean, 60%. I hope that is actual fact true, because I know a lot of people tell their dentists they floss, but in actual fact, they don't. So hopefully
people actually lie to their dentists and their doctors.
Well, it's usually as they're sitting there, fussing around your mouth and saying, "Oh, do you floss?" "Oh, yes, I floss all the time."
It's clearly a personal pet peeve of mine. Like I said, I take care of my teeth pretty well, and I still have issues. And other people I know do like nothing. They'll brush once a day and like have no cavities, no issues. It kills me, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
I know there is no equality when it comes to taking care of your teeth and what the actual results are, I'm afraid.
No.
Okay, well, interesting stuff there, Jeff. Now let's switch to another topic, which often is quite interesting with this age group, and that's around fashion. And so you asked a number of different questions around fashion, and one of them, let's start off with, do we feel that the fashion industry is even paying attention to us?
Well, we've asked a bunch of questions around this, and over half of active agers are like, yeah, sometimes it's okay, but there's a big chunk of people, I think closer to a third of active agers, said, you know what, marketers, brands are missing the boat. They are not depicting me or people like me, active agers, well in kind of media and in advertising and things like that. That's been an ongoing issue. And definitely we're seeing that in fashion, probably more so than in other industries.
Yeah, it's true. And I can attest to that. I mean, I think about all the, for instance, activewear sites. And if you actually land on one of those websites, it's all, I hate to say, 20 somethings, usually in phenomenal shape, wearing, the latest clothing, and they're completely missing the mark. I mean, I did see that one Nike commercial specifically that's had Sister, I can't remember her name.
Sister Madonna Bruder, yes.
Yeah, I thought that was outstanding. I mean, that just really challenged so many of the status quos related to, are you physically active, and sort of the gear that you're wearing. And I thought that was an excellent one. Do you have any other examples of good fashion? Not to put you on the spot.
You did put me on the spot, sort of, but and I'm still looking for good examples, because there aren't many, and we've had discussions, but the survey, the activity we did with our community, with active agers, we asked them, we gave them a choice of 10 different, I'll call them fashion personas. We said, hey, pick the one that you think is most representative of you and your style. Number one was basic. Right. And that doesn't necessarily mean boring. It just means simple and unobtrusive clothing. Right. So it's just kind of, basic stuff. And I wear that. So that was the number one choice. Number two was conservative, which in our definition, kind of classic style, but elegant, right? And then third, what you're talking about is athleisure. And I think particularly with COVID, I know personally, I've got athleisure on now. That's what I wear most of the time. That one, it was third, and I think has risen quite a bit. And that's comfortable clothing for both exercise and for everyday wear, right? So a lot of active agers now are exercising kind of in the home, going outside, doing things, starting to go back to the gym, but they also want to wear this stuff out when they're doing errands and shopping and all that kind of stuff. So those were the top three, but then we had 7 others and real mix. Others included bohemian. There was a chunk of people of that, and then trendy. One of the ones we gave was hipster, which was very low. I think it was 1%. And it's interesting because in the fashion industry, sometimes you'll see, and imagery that's used in other industries, it's like marketers particularly, and people think, oh, these people are active agers are hipper than we thought. And they put them in, they show images in this outlandish outfits as if they were trying to be 20 or 18 or 15 years old. And that's just not representative, right? So there's this wide gap between kind of this hipster look and then this, often boring. And what we know from talking to folks in the industry, in the fashion industry, and said they don't get it for the most part, is they think just because someone gets older from a fashion sense, they don't want to look fashionable. They don't care about how they look. It's one of the myths we talk about. And that's just not true. Athletic wear that you mentioned, I think there's a huge opportunity for brands to not only use better imagery, but also to develop products that are more suitable for people, for active agers as they get older, because our body changes, right? So the athwear that someone who's, in their 20s and 30s who might be really fit don't necessarily fit me. I got a little bulge going on. My wife plays a lot of tennis and other racket sports. She gets skirts from Athleta and from Nike, and you know what? They don't fit that well. Nothing against my wife, but they don't meet the body needs. So there's this real opportunity, particularly in athleisure, to develop products that are more functionally suited to active agers, men and women, as they get older, but they're also very fashionable. And to me, that's where a big opportunity is.
I so agree with you, Jeff. I think there's so much opportunity here, and it just boggles my mind. You and I have discussed this many times about the fact that, older people have the vast amount of disposable income, something around 70%. They control 70% of the disposable income, yet so many brands just continue to ignore them. And specifically in the fashion industry, I think it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it.
Well, one of the things, and again, it's this myth that I talked about, and I've talked to folks at Nike, and it's like, you know what, we're going to use younger influencers, younger celebrities, because older people aspire to be younger and look like that. And we've talked about before, you know what, I can't look like a Peloton trainer in their 20s. I could be on the Peloton 20 hours a day. I'm never going to look like that, right? So don't
bundle me up in that philosophy. It's not what we're after. It's not what we're looking for. We want to be ourselves, but we want to look good at the same time. And what's wrong with that?
We've tested imagery to show people, in like a gym setting. And if I remember correctly, there was one of this young couple doing push-ups or whatever. And like about 10% of our community said, yeah, that one appeals to me. And, about a third or 40% were like a couple who were, kind of in their 60s, who were like working out, who look great in their 60s, right? From a physical point. And it's like, for me, it's like, whoa, if I could look like that guy, that's going to inspire me.
Well, it's more realistic, right? It actually is representative of something you could possibly attain, rather than these ideas of, I'm not going backwards. I mean, as much as we all would love to be that, Benjamin Button, as I often would say, it's just, it's just not reality. So we might as well give me something that I can aspire to, something that's more representative of what I can achieve. And by the way, I really like your thought. I had also commented on this some time ago about clothing that actually fits and is conducive, and it kind of ties back into that conservative comment of the styles as well. I mean, you don't want to be, it's not about showing skin or, showing my six-pack at this point. That's not the objective. Well, one, because you'd have a hard time finding it, but that's not.
We're not going to go there, Susan. Not going to go there.
Anyways, okay. Well, as always, Jeff, great information. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for inviting me. I always love the chat.
And to everybody out there, I hope you found this information interesting and helps you live your best booming encore. Bye for now, everyone.